Underdog Daily with the Bad Bros. That was a bad one. That was a bad one today. I'm not gonna lie. I missed a little gravel in that one. That's funny. Um, yeah, John and Nez out here. We're riding the wave. We're riding the heater wave right now. Nez, aka Nez takes with all the good takes right now, takes down the NBA slate, the most recent one 2 nights ago, and then takes us all to the promised land last night with the Extendoooooor multiplier. Hopefully, everybody got in on that one. 25 bean got us to 1K. Love to see a couple C notes in the kids' pockets. And let's move on to today. We just shared on the X machine and in the Discord our Extendoooooor plays for today. And then we're going to break down. We're going to break down the NBA playoff slate. Lots of moving pieces today, obviously, with the Q tags that are now potentially probable tags, but not officially on the injury report as probable tags there. We'll walk through all of that with the Cavs inner workings, and then there will be points tonight. There will be points. We got two really high totals for playoff style basketball, which is quite surprising. And then there will be runs. There will be runs in the MLB today. A bunch of nice hitting conditions. And man, 12 games on the slate with some high implied run totals there. Nez, how we feeling, bro?
Man, feeling good. Feeling real good. That extender pick was very nice. That was fun. Man, I mean, we could have slid Nah up even further and really took home something crazy. But gotta leave some money for the good people. Can't be taking all their money.
I mean, we're trying our best to bankrupt Underdog out here, and we got to keep sliding if we want to take it all, man.
Yeah, against our best interests. Yeah, we are trying to bankrupt Numi. No, doing well today though. Like you mentioned, just points galore as far as points/runs galore should be today. I mean, every time that this happens, things they never pan out as they expect. But dude, the baseball slate looks crazy for runs today. Like, wow.
Yeah, we will get there. We will break it all down there. Just wanted to share with everyone prior to doing so. We will do our usual thing with last night's winners and all that sort of fun stuff before we dive straight into the NBA. But we can talk about last night's game, even though we did not have a slate for it. Watched bits and pieces of it. You know my feelings on watching Fake Sharp, Kerr, and Draymond Green. So yeah, with no Steph on the floor, it's a little less interesting. I'm not going to lie. I watched a lot more puck than I watched of hoops last night. But yeah, starting with the hoops there, the anger management flagrant foul monster claims he is not angry on the basketball floor. Nez, do you agree with these sentiments?
I don't want to contribute to the agenda, so no.
Oh man, what do you think of last night's game?
It was boring. I mean, Wolves took care of business. It felt nice to see, an edge, an angle, find a way to play it and be right with that. That hasn't happened a lot in the last 2 months. So actually getting something right and being correct was a nice change of pace.
Yeah.
Today, I do not think we are getting blowouts in either game. So
I hope not.
Today should be better. Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to say about last night's game. Steve Kerr kind of said it was a borderline punt game. I mean, said if it was out of reach, he wasn't going to push Draymond and Jimmy Butler, and he didn't. He pulled him out with down 15.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean they really need some auxiliary scoring there when Steph isn't around. And that's got to come by way of, I think Kuminga. I think he's fake Dunce cap for not playing Kuminga more, but in doing these wholesale line shift ones. I thought Spencer played okay when he came in with that second unit. I thought Trace Jackson Davis. I thought it was good that they went to the double big lineup to start because it was something I was calling for in game one, that you pull the gravity of Gobert out of the paint by having a stretch 5, and it just did not work because Gobert just D'd up on Draymond, and then it was like night, dare Trace Jackson Davis or dare Quentin Post to win, and that's a matchup that the T-Wolves will take every damn time. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do at home in game 3. I think Kuminga deserves burn, man. I think he can get to the hoop and get some scoring done in more efficient manners. Maybe not more efficient manners, but more effective manners than like Buddy Hield, for instance, who, once they're D'ing up on him as the primary shooter, it gets ugly, man.
Yeah, it does. In my opinion, I think it makes a lot of sense too. When no Steph, like you gotta find someone that can get a shot up, even if it's not necessarily an efficient shot. He's still getting shots up. Yeah, you really need that, because otherwise this is not a good offense without Steph.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought the greatest shooter in the history of basketball being off the floor really matters for an offense?
I'm learning a thing or two.
Seen a bunch of GMs in the chat here, a bunch of bigs, big days ahead for us. And yeah, Easy was always first when he rolls through. Yeah, that's a good comment from Evan here that 5 minutes and it was so obvious the Warriors were content to just go like 1-1. Yeah, that's a really good point there. Our guy Emo Cowboy, who was on the program, if you missed it, that content lives on because it is BBM and it has more evergreen qualities than our daily show. So the link is down here somewhere below if you want to check that one out. And yeah, I think this is actually a good point too. Evan saying every time Gobert touched the ball was an instant turnover. It's like, yeah, you literally just don't need to use them on the offensive end right now. Like you just don't want to either.
No, I mean that's never Minnesota's plan.
Right.
That's not why they made the Mikal Bridges trade for Rudy, was for ISO Rudy.
Yeah, for ISO Rudy. Yeah. All right, now let's move into the Extendoooooor and last night's winners. Appreciate Ashton joining back up here. GM, my friend. Yeah, we've had 6 shows. This will be the 6th show this week. Only 1 for the paywall members. I'll do a better job next week to make sure we get at least 2 paywall shows in there next week. Yeah, but we'll probably have 6 or 7 shows yet again next week there. I got to bring up the Extendoooooor. This is what we're running with tonight, guys. We're running it back. The link is in the chat. It is pinned at the very top there. You cannot miss it. I will go ahead and share it again in the chat as we go here. But Nez was in the lab all morning. I talked him off. I'm not going to lie. If we had it Nez way, it would have been a little closer to what Davis put out there, because Nez wanted a little bit of like some CLV potential on the Cavs stuff. And he thought the price on Donovan Mitchell was good, regardless of everybody playing or not. And I kind of talked him off a higher that was 29.5 points. Well, that one's up to like 31.5 now. So, a little CLV there for Nez boy. But yeah, we will see. We're going to play this one a little closer to the vest, only a 10x with the boost in there, opposed to last night's shoot the moon variety. Walk me through the plays here, Nez.
Yeah, I mean, we're in Denver, so anticipating a closer game than what we got in game 2, and really like how Russ has been contributing pretty much all playoffs, the entire stretch of these playoffs. And part of the Russ thesis too is like, I don't know when Michael Porter Jr. will be right again, but I'm not counting on it being tonight. So Russ, I think, going to do some scoring here, and a little bit of role players at home thesis with Russ there. Even though is Russ, what role is Russ? I don't even know if he's a role player, but he's not a star. So either way, side pieces at home type deal. Jokic a little hand in hand with the points, because so much of Russ's points, or a handful of Russ's points, are coming off Jokic assists, usually corner threes, stuff like that. But Jokic, I think, going to be playing big facilitator. In my opinion, I don't know how the Nuggets won't have to help on him. So this is a little bit of like help thesis, Jokic driving kick type stuff. Get a little bit of a boost on this too. I really like that. I like that we were getting an extra multiplier on this. And then Caruso is just, hey, I think this game's going to be close. And if the game is close, I don't think Alex Caruso is going to be riding pine like he did all game 2, because he didn't have to play and they keep him in bubble wrap when they don't have to.
Yeah.
I'm anticipating a closer game. I'm anticipating Caruso playing more, and he can contribute, points in all these categories. So I thought that this was great.
Yeah, no, I like all the shouts there, dude. I think it is big stamp of approval for me. I like where your head's at with all this stuff. I think the hardest decision tonight, and maybe this is a good segue into tonight's slate. So maybe I'll save it for a half second till we do the review of last night kind of thing. But I think a really hard decision tonight is, do they go back to Alex Caruso, first guy off the bench? Or do they see what worked last game and they went to Jay Will first, then they went to Cason Wallace, then they went to Isaiah Joe, then they went to Caruso. And then Caruso still played, a good stretch of minutes when it mattered in the second quarter there. Like he still got up to 10 minutes or whatever for that big chunk of when the game was impactful. And then, as you alluded to, bubble wrap for the second half because it was so far out of hand there. Aaron Wiggins in the same vein, where it was like him and Caruso treated very strongly in the second quarter when it was like tight, but not that tight, and they needed some good ball. And then in the second half, it was like, they're too good to be garbage time guys. Back to the bench you go, and they don't play anywhere close to full there. So I do think the closer the ball game, the better for Alex Caruso. But it is really interesting, and it's not reflected in ADP right now or in projection on the site because it's a 2-gamer, that like Caruso was 8th man up. Like that's not what we saw in game 1. So what's going on there? Was that an adjustment? Was that, who knows, right? Was that because there was no foul trouble on Hartenstein early? So I just found that interesting. We could talk through that a little bit.
I think it's because they were up like 20 in the first quarter.
Yeah. It's pretty early to make the decision. Like, we're talking Hartenstein got pulled 4 minutes into the ball game. Jay Will comes in. That's a size for size thing. It's just interesting that it was Cason Wallace 8 minutes into the ball game. Like they weren't up 28 minutes into the ball game.
Yeah. It took what, 9 minutes to get up 20.
Yeah, that's true.
They were cruising. I'm not worried about it. Caruso ended up playing like the whole second quarter after. Yep. So I hear you. It is something to look at, but like this is Alex Caruso 6-man here.
Yeah, cool. Respect it, dude. All right, let me jump into the streets of last night. Take a little look at the results tab there. We could start with Thursday early stuff because it hadn't closed when we were on stream. I told you guys I was going to take a bath because I played so much effing Baltimore. And you know what? I'm probably going back to the well again tonight. Nez only got one in the daytime diamond there. Lackey takes that one down. Shout out to him. The web gem there. Lackey up there again with a couple of these ones. The game, who took down a slate recently there. I believe his name's Matthew. Is always hanging out there. Easy, Breezy MB, 2K up top there. What did this one end up looking like? Devers, Bobby Witt had that big game. And then kind of a mix and match outfield. Trevor Larnach, actually, I believe Buxton was the high scoring outfielder on the slate. And then Trevor Larnach was second, something like that. We both really liked Chris Bubich, which, played out well there. 3-bagger Thursday, nothing too good to speak of for me here, but we get Blitzberg at the top. We get our friend Vogie Berra. RJ's up here, who's been doing work. Brad's up here. RJ's up like 3 times. A. Rosen, haven't seen him in a minute, but doing work. AD, man, he's been all over it. JT McKenzie, and then our friend Justin Long in here at 4th place. Love to see it. Shout out to the Blitzberg here. Your Chris Bassett call, Nez, where we said he's probably not going to shove, but he could be enough. Well, he ended up being enough there. Otani was kind of a separator at the bitter end of this slate. You needed Varsho. You needed some combination of the Phillies bats in contrarian fashion. Bryson Stott ended up mattering greatly. Anything to say on last night's main slate?
No, last night was tough because there was just not a lot to draft from. But that Otani home run. Obviously he's gone in every draft. Knew that was going to swing things. So that was rough for quite a few people.
Yeah, for sure. Especially the Brandon Fott slash Diamondbacks stack ors, because those combinations looked
Yeah.
okay going into the tail end of that. Yeah, what was the one that I was gonna say? Our pick'em that we did on the show, the home run one, man, directionally accurate on that
Yeah.
bad boy. We got Yanni Diaz to homer there. We liked that righty versus lefty Rays matchup. Rays are going to get their third lefty in a row tonight. So just, we got a semblance of what the lineup can look like or will look like. They're the second worst lineup Ness in all of baseball against left-handed pitching this year, which is
Jeez.
shocking compared to what they once were. But maybe the ship got righted a little bit last night there. And then the late slate here, T. Gill. We've seen T. Gill up there a couple times, but up here twice. And G for Gumby right there. Shout out to Gumby. Wins it by that .33 from Brandon Fott. That extra
Wow.
1/3 of an inning really mattering there. Some LA bats finally getting home for some people when I keep chasing them over and over and over again. But yeah, that Varsho Otani combination was impactful on the late slate.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. I didn't get in here, so this is my first time seeing this leaderboard. Shout out Gumby.
Love it. All right, dude, let's move into today. We can start with just kind of a macro view and the beautiful unabated interface here. Official NBA injury report will be out in 10 minutes time. The most recent iteration of it has Darius Garland, DeAndre Hunter, and Evan Mobley listed as questionable. Obviously, all three missed last time out. They blew it right at the very end there. Yeah, some very interesting draft dynamics here, Nez, where these guys have Q tags still on the site. They've been listed as Q for a long time now. But according to the good people at Unabated and according to Shams, they are probable for this evening. And they all participated, present in parentheses, at shoot around this morning. So, yeah, let's just talk about the dynamic of the Cleveland Cavaliers Q tags right now and how you've been drafting.
Yeah, I'm still not like totally confident in the Q tags as far as like how they look for the game, in the game. I do think that they play. I'm not doubting their reporting. I'm just doubting their performance. So
Okay.
I'm not like giving a huge credence to these guys. Like, Garland's toe, I don't know how good he's feeling. Mobley's ankle, I'm just not totally sure how to feel about these guys. So I don't have too high of a rank on them. Didn't have a lot of them before the news, but the shares that I do have are like, pretty good value. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll take it like that. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to have a ton of Garland or Mobley today.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree with you. Last night, I was kind of just GM hunting, waiting for those Q tag fallers and trying to encapsulate some value if it broke the right way. There's going to be a lot of teams with Mobley in the 13, 12, 13, 11 ish range. I think the furthest I saw him fall last night was 14. So what is that, mid second, paired with presumably a Mitchell and or Hallie team, something like that. I saw Garland fall to the 6th round once or twice, so that could age pretty well. But there's going to be some landmines in these drafts tonight, no matter what, because all the drafts that were anticipating these guys not playing were pushing up Jared Allen, Ty Jerome, Max Strus, and rightfully so. All the drafters who were trying to fall and catch some value like this with the Q tags are not targeting those players, and they will be completely out of their pool, kind of thing. So there's a little push-pull dynamic with how the auxiliary players were treated. The ugly potential situation here is must-win game on the road. Everybody plays. They don't play as full as they are capable of, or as well as they are capable of physically. And it's kind of a wash for all Cleveland pieces. And maybe we want to play the other game environment. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I'm getting at with the take. Yeah, I think what I do like right now is you're probably going to see Ty Jerome fall to the 6th round a good bit today.
Yep.
really like that. Really into that. So, I think the combination of these guys being healthy and Ty Jerome absolutely stinking it up last game is going to make fairly palatable prices for him, and he really should be going higher. But, those factors that I mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good shouts there. In a vacuum, who do you prefer tonight? Hunter, Strus, or Jerome?
Jerome.
Okay.
Jerome Strus Hunter.
Jerome, Strus, Hunter. Yeah, I think the minutes are probably safest with Strus. I think the ceiling's probably highest with Jerome. Having the two bigs in there, like presuming that they all play this evening, having the two bigs in there really helps Ty Jerome because he's not a complete zero, but he's basically a zero on the defensive end there, which means they don't need Okoro as much, and they won't have to rotate him as much when they have two solid defenders in Jared Allen and Mobley out there, which in my estimation boosts the not doesn't boost the projection, but just boosts the floor stability of Ty Jerome staying out there.
Yeah, that checks out to me.
Okay, cool. Anything else kind of like macro? That's the big stuff that was driving the slate. I think maybe Michael Porter Jr. is driving the slate a little bit too, depending on how you feel about him. He came back to life a little bit in the first quarter and a half of last game, and then they basically just didn't have to play because it was a blowout, that sort of thing. But I thought it was a little encouraging to see him get at least 17, 18, I think it was, fantasy points and get a couple boards in there, stuff that we noted that he was going up for that one-handed board bullshit and this sort of thing. It was nice to see him get two hands over his head and go grab 5 rebounds or whatever it was.
Yeah, I still don't have a great feeling on old Michael Porter Jr., but I think, you could just look at last game and say he's getting better. I can't imagine he's getting worse as far as health goes, but I still don't have a good feeling about him today.
Okay. Yeah, no, entirely fair there. I think that's good kind of like macro overview, and then we can go into some ADP style battles and stuff. I was really shocked to see both of these totals north of 230, like 232 and a half and 231 and a half seemed like really big. I do think it's noteworthy that the Cavs line has moved significantly over the last 48 hours. This is using a good Canadian platform here. The old Score mobile app, former television channel with highlights turned mobile app. But as you can see here, Nez, 1.5, what was that on the 6th there? So immediately following last game, 1.5, 2.5. We noted it on our show that, 1.5 favorites on the road for the Cavs. And now it's already gone up to 5.5. So pretty strong indication that all three of those bodies we anticipate being available will be available this evening.
Yeah, definitely. I think if you're gonna, want to maybe use like the unabated line,
the unabated line, it's 5. It's 5. It's close enough.
As early as this morning, the unabated line was 3, and then went up to is up to 5. So I would agree with that. I do like the Cavs here, and I get like the surprise of like, wow, it's the playoffs. You have 230 totals, but like I expect both these games to be high scoring. So like, probably would if somebody asked me to set a total, I probably would have put it around there for both these games.
Yeah, the Nuggets one scares me a little bit. Like, moving to altitude, like Nuggets got their doors blown off last time out. Maybe they try and like slow some shit down a little bit here. But I was just floored that like comparative to some of the early series games that we saw, like we were getting like 195s and maybe not 195, but we got 198.5 a couple times in that Boston versus Magic series. Obviously completely different pace and completely different style of basketball, but like I just comparatively, like we were accustomed to seeing those games be like 208 or like 205 in the regular season. Like swinging 8 points like that seems like playoff basketball. This just doesn't seem like playoff basketball, these totals.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
All right, dude, let's move into the rankings tab here and just check some things out. I think there's really interesting questions on like combo stuff with like where we should be trying to get Mobley now, where we should be trying to get Garland now, knowing that what the chat is saying here. Dat Mavis is saying 5th round Mobley with his SGA team. Pitch saying 5th round Mobley and some 6th round Garland last night. Like just knowing that, like how we pivot and deviate from it, because CLV is all well and good. I threw out a little tweet about it this morning. It's all well and good, but it has to come to fruition, right? And so often it doesn't. Like we just look at your win from last slate. We all liked Brunson more than we liked Cat, and you had Cat in your winning team. Like, you know what I mean? Like the CLV doesn't always, the GM doesn't always come to matter, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and yeah, I some of those Mobley teams are definitely scary, but who do they have with them? You could have some flops, in the second to 4th rounds in there as well. I mean, yeah.
In that vein, Nez, like to be fair, so many of them will just be flipped ADPs.
Pretty much, right?
Right?
Like I don't think it's I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like it's scary, but like I don't think it's like that big big of a thing. And just because Mobley's been here in projection the whole time. You know, like this didn't change because we got good news on the reporting. He's still going to continue to be available in the 2nd and 3rd rounds. So like, yeah, I mean, me personally, I won't have a ton of Mobley just because I already wasn't having a ton of Mobley. So
sure.
I don't blame anybody for wanting to stay away from it.
Okay. One kind of like push-pull dynamic with like Mobley being back and stuff like that is this Miles Turner versus Siakam debate. I think that's kind of like, there's definitely a couple pivot points that we can get to and points of contention before that one. But I think it does go hand in hand with the Mobley stuff, where it's like we saw this monster game from Turner, and now all of a sudden, a couple mid-tier games from Siakam. And now people have just flipped their ADPs where we were accustomed to taking Siakam before for the first 2 slates there. Do you have any read on that 1v1 now that we anticipate Mobley being in?
I mean, I'm definitely worried about Siakam as a play.
Okay.
Like, I have him below pretty much everybody you see on the screen.
Okay. Okay.
I like Turner. I like Turner a lot. So I'm definitely Turner over Siakam.
And you like Turner even though, like, even with Mobley in kind of thing?
Yeah, he's gonna have to play. He's gonna have to see the floor even more.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Yeah, I might bring a little bit of Jarace Walker into rotation slightly earlier than we saw last game. Like last game was clearly a Naismith game, and no foul trouble means Naismith game. But if there is a player who's not getting drafted who could be 6-man up for them, it could be Walker tonight.
I was not thinking about Jarace Walker at all tonight.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, he's not worth drafting. It's just potential rotation based stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Nez, let's start with the top of the board. I think we'll both be in lockstep here that it's Joker then SGA. Do you feel differently?
Nope. Definitely Joker 101.
Okay, now this is where it starts to get really fun. I have been quite outspoken about not loving the Hallie matchup and not loving the Jamal Murray matchup in this series. I have been on team Donovan Mitchell over Mobley for the entirety of it, even before he got injured there. It led me, both with the Q-tag hedge situation and just the matchup stuff. It led me to taking Donovan Mitchell at 3 almost all of last night and then putting J-Dub behind him. Am I wrong about that? What are you doing?
No, I have Mitchell 3 as well.
Okay. And then J-Dub for you?
Yep.
Okay. There's going to be a lot of those two paired together just in general from last night.
Yeah, I am mixing and matching to be fair, but like that's how I have it. But like Hallie, I've done a lot of Mitchell Hallie as well. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, checks out to me. So even if we treat Mobley as in and ignore this Q tag, would you put him up next, or do you still like the Hallie, the Jamals, the Miles Turners of the world?
No, I would do like it's really flat, man. Like I don't, I don't know who's definitively going to score the most fantasy points after this, but like I like Chet a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been pulling up Chet over the Hallie and Jamal here?
Oh, not over Hallie.
Okay.
Yeah, Hallie, like like no question. I mean,
Okay.
I would, yeah, Hallie and J Dub are like, the same.
Okay.
Then Chet for me though, behind Hallie. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Nice. So you foresee kind of more what they did in game 2 versus game 1. We noted in game 1 when he was playing on ball against Joker, he struggled, a lot more, and that wasn't a great matchup for him. And then in the second one, they used him kind of like, for lack of a better term, like I guess like a flow guy, like a help side guy at all times, that sort of thing, where he was like working off and then being the help side guy on Joker. Um, yeah, thoughts on just like his role in general? What makes you like him tonight?
I mean, it's a high scoring game. It's Chet HOMERUN with stock potential.
Mhm.
Game 1, he had some foul trouble. Game 2 was a blowout. Like I think if things go right, like Chet can easily, find himself like third highest scorer on today's slate. So I just think the ceiling is massive for Chet.
Yeah, I'm a little worried home whistle with Joker here that we see closer to what we saw in game 1 than game 2, where like they got away with some physicality on Joker, like notable physicality on Joker in game 2 that they didn't get away with in game 1, which led to Joker fouling out and Joker kind of getting hounded, and Hartenstein and Chet having really good games. I want to see more of that from OKC. I want that to be like what they do from a design standpoint. I'm a little concerned that the refs will go back, look at that tape, and be like, "Ooh, we let them get away with a little bit here and be a little quicker tonight." But that's pure anecdotal narrative there. I like your ranking. Okay, so is it Jamal next for you, or can we start having the Mobley, the Turner Siakam conversation?
No, it's Jamal. Jamal at
Okay.
home. I've got him next, but yeah, I don't necessarily feel awesome about it, but yeah, that's who I got next.
Okay, cool. And then is it Turner next because you said you like Turner more over Siakam?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so still Turner over Mobley for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so you're basically only going to have the super uh GM Mobley teams. You're not going to be chasing him up the board kind of thing.
No, I will not be.
Okay.
Maybe mix and match here and there in the, at the 2-3 turn if I'm in my draft and I'm not autoing just to like get some different Mobley shares. But no, I like Miles Turner more.
Cool. Yeah, there's definitely risk for re-aggravation too. Like with the ankle, he was, carried off not carried off in the same respect as like Ant last night, but like, he was noticeably limping, not putting weight on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a good point.
Okay, cool. So now I think we get to this really interesting tier where a lot of people were pulling up Jared Allen and in anticipation of the Q tags being out this evening. Did you have Jared Allen over Siakam in the Q tags, or what are you doing now?
So I did.
Yeah.
So because of that, obviously I have a shit ton of Jared Allen. I
Uh-huh.
still don't think it's a bad play because like if I'm fading Mobley for reasons, it's I think it makes sense to have a lot of Jared Allen, like if that's the thesis. But right now I have it as I do have Mobley behind Turner right now, I will say. So I am like Mobley Allen
Okay.
after Turner.
Yeah, I respect that. I think that's kind of what I was running this morning as well. I had Mobley over Turner. I think he'll just project better, and I like the spot better for him, and I'm willing to
Yeah.
take a little bit of that risk on. But yeah, I respect that in a big way there.
Thank you.
What are we doing with Siakam, Garland, and then we start getting to auxiliary Denver, Pacers, and OKC stuff.
So after this is obviously where things get like really flat. I do have Siakam here. This is where I'm willing to finally queue up Siakam, but like, I don't know, man. I don't feel overly confident that he's going to outscore Aaron Gordon tonight. You know,
Dude,
I mean,
absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, Nemhard has the ball. We've talked about this multiple times now through these playoff series that Nemhard's touch time has significantly ramped up in this, and then the overlap time with TJ McConnell and Hallie, for that second unit, there's so much touch time going to guys not named Siakam. Like Siakam doesn't have the ball in his hands nearly as much as when he was creating. And Naismith has been a pivot guy for them for hitting threes and getting to the rack as well too. So they're getting contribution from like everyone all over the place. And a lot of that usage is just stemming at the expense of Siakam.
yeah, I mean, that's very astute points on the why there. And Aaron Gordon's like so important to the Nuggets right now, and just like playing such good basketball that yeah, it's hard not to at least consider Gordon over Siakam. But as far as like what's correct, I think Siakam over Gordon is correct.
Okay. Sounds good. Is it Darius Garland time yet, or do you still like Gordon more?
Let me see here. I do have Garland next, but I can't put Gordon next. Okay. I can't like defend Garland over Aaron Gordon right now, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, when we look at the hashtag models, Mobley and Garland are going to be way higher than this. But the problem with the lens of the hashtag model is it's not incorporating the fact that we know from a game theory standpoint that these late round Mobley and late round Garland price tags already exist. So chasing them up the board is probably not, GTO right now.
And I honestly wonder if projections will like Garland today, because the pick'ems don't love Garland from a PRA standpoint.
Okay, let me maybe that's a good little spot to jump to here. Let's look at the Cavs in the pick'em lobbies real quick. Hallie 18.5 points, obviously lower. Oh, there's your Donovan Mitchell back at 28.5. There we go. Yeah. That's where he should be. Garland, 15.5 real life basketball points, 5.5 assists, a 23.5 PRA. Do you think that 23.5 PRA is higher or lower than Nemhard's PRA?
Higher.
Let's see where Nemhard is here. Did I blow by him already? Nemhard, 13.5 points, so kind of close. 22.5 with a little bit of price to the higher. So, I mean, Nemhard and Garland, that's kind of like the tipping point according to the pick'em lobbies.
Yeah, and I think it's correct.
Okay.
But I would favor Nemhard, but
yeah, I mean, very, as you alluded to, Nez, like very clear, definable tiers in terms of like what you said was flat, where it's like we got this clear top 2, then we got a clear top 3, then we have this like muddled kind of like, let's call it 6 down to like Jared Allen and Siakam kind of thing, and Siakam kind of ends that tier, and then we have this next little muddled grouping of like, where do we go with Hartenstein, Nemhard, Garland, Gordon, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Which makes drafting, I think, fun. Because it's, to us, these tiers are like clearly defined, but like I see people bypass these tiers, and it feels good whenever you catch it. You're like, oh, yeah, like shouldn't have done
that. Okay, so if we put Garland there, but we recognize that he is kind of in this next batch, who do you prefer between Brown, Hartenstein, and Nemhard?
Yeah, this is tough. This is definitely tough. I do think Hartenstein should go next.
Yeah, I was drafting it that way.
I think he's going to see the floor, and you know, last game is hard to take anything from it, but like, you know, and they do this anyways, but just a lot of screen and roll, easy buckets for Hartenstein from SGA there. He's just going to see the floor a lot, assuming he stays out of foul trouble, but that's, you know, pretty heavy if. And then I would go, I think Nembhard.
Okay.
We like Nembhard. He's having a great playoffs. You know, I don't see any reason not to like the matchup here, especially if you think Garland might maybe hobbled, you know, like is he attackable on defense? You never know. I'm pretty split between Westbrook and Brown.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you there. I really agree with you there. I mean, it's the evergreen debate of minutes and fantasy point per minute being like a 0.8 or something like that versus like ceiling outcome of guaranteed to have lesser minutes, but could be a 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 sometimes guy in Westbrook off the bench, pending what they need this evening. And it's just fucking fun to play Westbrook compared to playing Christian Brown, you know?
I know. I think ceiling is Westbrook and median is Brown.
Yeah.
And honestly, I haven't even really been able to tell who was going over who more often. I think I do think Brown, I guess, you know, just based on the projection, probably goes higher, but I don't think it's like fairly obvious. So I guess just put Brown and then Westbrook, and we'll give the tie break to the projection rank.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. This is kind of like the next group for me. I noticed last night a lot in these drafts. I did about 40 of them, Nez, and I hand drafted all of them. I was having fun. And the Ty Jerome drafters last night were pulling them up to the SGA and Joker combinations, like right about here. You know, they were pulling them up over the Westbrook and whatever. And, you know, rightfully so to some extent, because he would be the direct benefactor of these Q tags sitting out. But yeah, now that we're working with this newfound knowledge, I don't think that's a clear tier anymore. I think it's probably Naismith all by himself, and then we talk about the rest of them.
Yep. Yeah, this is definitely Naismith.
Okay. I think this is a very I think if I could pinpoint the 1v1s tonight that are going to make or break this slate, it's Turner versus Siakam. It's Hartenstein versus Gordon or Hartenstein versus Nembhard, and then it's Naismith versus the Denver 2. Like, I think those are like the ones, if you get that shit right, you know, and you just get 20 points from your 6th rounder, you can win this slate.
Yeah. I fully agree. It's those like 1v1v1s and 1v1s type of deal.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Nez, now comes the big questions here. I'm guessing you like Caruso next because of our pick'em and because of everything you articulated earlier.
Yeah, you'd be correct. I have a ton of Caruso.
Okay. So you're treating him as like player 18, 19, something like that, get overweight in the 5th round, opposed to trying to catch him fall.
Yeah. I'm taking him a ton.
Cool. Porter has been the biggest faller as of last night in rooms. He was falling, 22, 21, 23, stuff like that. Jerome wasn't here and being pushed up. So if you just want to flip the build a little bit comparative to last night's stuff, you could put him up a little bit here and get overweight at better price tags than last night, but it looks a little less bullish now with these Q tags trending in the direction they are. I think this is a next big flat grouping that I personally put Michael Porter Jr. at the top of as of right now, and then you can kind of mix and match whatever you want in the last round. But do you see it differently?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
I'm like very off Michael Porter Jr. So I have Jerome and Strus here.
Okay, so you're still playing the Cleveland guys despite the Q tags most likely being in. You still like them?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and then honestly, I go Dort over Porter Jr. Like, yeah, sure. I have no idea how much Porter Jr. I have, but it can't be substantial.
Okay.
It's not. Yeah, it's not a lot, but it's like 15%, give or take.
15%. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean that's not
That's
like
not that bad.
nothing either. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not bad. Like you're not getting caught with your pants down with that one.
Hmm.
Um, I want to take a little look here down memory lane for 1 second. Go back to game one here with this Cleveland Indiana series here. Bring up the popcorn machine for 1 second here. This was a close, tightly contested game here. Game one that the Pacers took. Just want to take a little look-sees at some of the minutes and stuff. Ty Jerome and Hunter came off the bench together, and they both played near-ish 30. They brought Hunter back in to close at the expense of Jared Allen, so he ended up playing 30. That was just the last kind of minute of the ball game there.
Hmm.
But yeah, Sam Morril got some burn for like 17 minutes in there. But that was without Garland, so that's not going to happen again. Yeah, I think these minutes of like Morril and Jerome kind of like plummet with Garland back in. Garland goes to like the 28-30 range if he's able to play that. And then Hunter will be push pull with Strus, I guess. And then just, spelling one of the bigs or spelling Donovan Mitchell or Garland for some time off the floor.
Yeah, I mean, Ty Jerome just like fills it up whenever he's in there. I still feel decent about his minutes, given that Garland is no doubt not 100%. There's just no way he's 100%. So, yeah, I hear you. I hear you for sure. It's not a slam dunk, but I still like him.
Cool. Do you like him more than Hunter?
Yeah, I do. I'm really worried about Hunter's finger.
Yeah, it is a right hand thumb, which is obviously a shooting hand too. So yeah, that's not great.
No, I feel awful about that.
Yeah. Cool. I think that's a good little synopsis of that. Is there anybody else that we can do the fun scroll the F down to here, Nez, in this grouping after kind of like Porter Jr. and Hunter? Benny Math hasn't played great, but he had some spurts, let's say it, last game off the bench there.
Yeah.
Most notably when Hallie kind of got banged up for a bit, went back to the locker room, got his hand wrapped, and then came back out kind of thing. Any love for some ceiling outcomes for TJ McConnell or Cason Wallace maintaining that same rotation he had last game and being first guy up at the expense of Caruso? Wiggins, who had 17 points in 14 minutes, 17 fantasy points in 14 minutes there, and then didn't play the garbage time because he's that hybrid, too good for garbage time, but not good enough to start kind of guy. Any love for these guys?
I mean, Benny Math.
Okay.
Definitely showing love. That's basically it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's basically it. I can't really make too much of a case for anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, you can always make a case for TJ from a rates perspective if like Hallie's hand isn't as good as it is, or they got to play their way back into a ball game that they're trailing in or something like that. Cason Wallace, if he's first guy up, is kind of like the only one. Peyton Watson's going to play 15 minutes because he plays 15 minutes. I don't know if he can ever do enough in that time to matter. We cited how bad he was. Dash 22 in his 12 minutes last game or whatever it was 2 games ago. 14 minutes. Yeah. But 14, 16, 20 points. If everybody else in the 6th round flops, you could do worse kind of thing, right? Because the minutes will be there.
Yeah, they will. But I won't be drafting him to find out.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, let's do this, man. Let's jump in and see what it looks like on the fly here. 15K to first. Does this impact you at shit? Does this impact you at all, Nez? Just knowing that the field is 6,000 entries deeper today?
No, it doesn't change anything that I'm doing.
Okay.
I think, if this wasn't a 2-game slate, maybe it would.
Mhm.
But I'm just trying to, pick the best players.
Play the best plays. Nez takes. Heard it here first. Just play good plays,
Groundbreaking.
guys.
Have you tried drafting players that score the most fantasy points?
See, I bet you use a milk frother.
I'm not that soft. Keep my coffee black.
I'm back, baby. I'm back. Black coffee only. Jets dropping by saying, are we going to do baseball or upcoming? Upcoming, my friend. We started with the playoff stuff. Here, we're going to do one of these drafts, and then we are going to jump in 12-game baseball. We're not going to go full game by game, but we will talk about the relevant pitchers. We will talk about isolated bats that we like. We'll talk about the stacks we like. I think I could pick 15 home run calls today. Nez, there are so many spots. It's crazy.
I know.
Yeah. But we will do that in half a second here. Austin alluding, no day baseball on a Friday sucks. Yeah, normally we're accustomed to having the Cubs playing that one island game on the Friday there.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Yeah. All right. SGA at 2 was a tier break for us, so we'll go ahead and take SGA at 2 here. 34 real life basketball points last time out. We drew a really soft lobby here, Nez, with pitch in here, with clip fan in here, and with Inthrius, all 3 members of the community and viewers of the program. We have Chet up next. You want Chet here paired with SGA, my friend?
Yeah, I think this would be my pick.
Cool. Let's roll with it. See what happens here. Austin, say, can we please nail a 2-leg homer slip? I mean, I would love to.
Since you said please.
Yeah, we were so damn close last night. I mean, so damn close. Miles Turner goes there, and Jared Allen still going ahead. This is the point in which we said we would start taking the Q tags. I think Evan Mobley is a great pick right here. Do you feel similarly?
Yeah, I think this is a good time to take Evan Mobley.
Yeah.
Third round. Yeah.
I don't think you're losing too much compared to last night. Hey, Bubs, chill.
Whoa.
He's got heavy bark sometimes. You hear that one?
Yeah, it was bassy.
Oh yeah, he's missed a good boy. Yeah, he when you're not around, Nez, he's always like Underdog daily.
That's what he hears you talking like that.
That's where he learned it from. Is it time to entertain Garland here, or should we mix and match some of these other plays in?
I don't know, man. This kind of feels like a good spot for Garland.
Feels like a great spot for Garland.
Let's do it. Yeah, who would it would be, obviously Brown or Westbrook there, and I guess with the team that we have, I mean the build that we have, it doesn't necessarily lean me Brown or Westbrook one way or the other if we did, but
there we go.
Guess we're going Westbrook.
Yeah, we get Westbrook back anyways there, Nez. You and I both like Westbrook there. So, yeah, a little hodgepodge team with 2 Cleveland Q tags, 2 OKC pieces that we like at cost. Russell Westbrook, who we like over this next tier. And then we're going to be scrolling for this last one, eh?
Oh, man. How do you possibly scroll here? I can't wait. This is your music. So, teach me how to scroll.
I like Michael Porter Jr. tonight, so I'm not going to scroll. If it was Lou Dort, I was going to scroll because we already got the 2 OKC pieces. And, Lou Dort is a good real life basketball player. He's like a better version of Dylan Brooks. But I don't love playing him in fantasy. I'd rather take some stealing outcomes elsewhere. I'm more bullish on Michael Porter Jr. than you are this evening. So there's that.
Well, I wish him well.
Let's rip one last one of those because they take like 5 seconds. That's what makes them so effing fun. Let's go in here for my 43rd draft of the slate. Yeah, don't mind scooping MPJ in the 6th. Fully agree. Christopher saying that Garland can't run according to the beats. This has been the sentiment. Yeah, he's been on the treadmill and in pain when on the treadmill, that sort of thing. We will see this evening. There could be some funny business where these guys are probable and then they are active and then they are, limited in the capacity that like Zinger was the other night, something like that. There's non-zero range of outcomes with stuff like that.
No, you're absolutely right. It's risky and it doesn't make them like boosts in my ranks like we talked about. Yeah, I'm not even optimistic. I'm just cautious.
Yeah, that's a perfectly phrased there, Nez. A little bit of a Nez hedge with these Q tags. Peppertoni asking only when they fall. I mean, that's been the alpha. That's been what's going on in these rooms. So if you want to fall in line with the way the room dynamics are, yeah, basically only when they fall. But that being said, they're going to project better than they currently are. But there's a lot that goes into this. They might be playing at like 30, 40%,
Right. It's very possible. I mean, it's the playoffs. You guys are going to gut it out.
Right. 100%. Christopher saying, give me all the Jerome and Struce. That's what everybody was doing last night. People were fighting over that last night. Now, if you want all the Jerome and Struce, you should get in these lobbies right now because they are free. They go in the 5th and the 6th over and over again, which they were not, going previously. Interested to see what our guy Justin does here. He does the Donovan Mitchell thing here. Nez, should we get funky with this one, or do you think it's a clear tier break as we alluded to with the J-Dub and Hallie stuff?
Man, it's J-Dub and Hallie, right? Like there's just no way to do anything else here. I don't think. Okay. You can't give up the GM to Justin.
I mean, I don't even think it's that GME now with all these options out there. Like just giving him Hallie plus Mitchell, that exists a lot. Giving him J-Dub plus Mitchell, that exists a lot. I think it's fine. I think it's fine to mix and match if you want to be the guy who gets creative. I probably wouldn't do Jamal and Chet at that spot because then you give up something nice to the SGA drafter. But if you're diversifying your portfolio and trying to find a place to first, like Moguls, who split the win with you the other night, I saw him in the lobbies last night doing Chet at 5, like just to flip the board kind of thing.
Jeez, man, the crown just gets to people. You win one contest and then you just start doing things like taking Michael A. Taylor in the early slate.
The crown doth heavy, huh? Heaviest who wears the crown. What's the phrase?
Something like that.
Yeah, fucking nailed it as usual.
The crown contains chemicals that leaks into the brain and cause you to do silly shit in the lobbies. Is what they say succinctly.
Troy's out here, only rolled the 101 twice in his 20 drafts there. That means you just got to keep rolling, baby. That just means you got to keep rolling. Or you got to DM Numi. You got to DM Numi. Tag him in the Discord. Tell him.
Don't do that.
Heavy the head that wears the crown. Thank you, Blake.
Wow, Blake.
Still the smartest.
Nothing gets past Blake, dude. Have you noticed that? I mean, nothing gets past Blake.
No, he's the sharpest guy I know. Jared Allen here feels like a good click. A price tag he was not obtained at last night.
Yeah, this would be Allen and Aaron Gordon.
Yeah, you like Gordon more than Garland?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think there is still some merit right now, Nez, of playing the Q tags being limited or breaking the wrong way and doing like a Mitchell, Allen, Jerome team at a price tag and combination that wasn't available last night.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Probably sharp.
Yeah, when the classic the room zigs, Isaac. Give me 1 second, Nez. I'll be back for the next pick.
Okay. Dude, look at John. I'll be honest, guys. I'm not wearing blue jeans. I never wear jeans on stream. I don't even wear jeans, period. Like, I just don't wear jeans. Look at this dude running around. Oh, God, his dog's probably sick. I shouldn't be making jokes. I hope his dog's okay. Definitely something up with Tucker. But, dude, you are never catching me wearing jeans while I stream. Just absolutely never. Make sure you compliment him.
Oh, my goodness.
Everything okay?
as we expected, Mr. Good Boy went for a run and jumped through the trees and was gone for a bit. Chasing whatever he was barking at. Yeah, he's fine in the backyard now. But there's like a little spot that he can jump like through the trees. You like Ty Jerome here?
Yeah.
So we could do as we alluded to here, Nez, and play those guys are limited and they still need to rely on Allen, Jerome, and add Strus to it. Or we could do the Hunter thing, but you said you were scared of the thumb. Then it leaves Lou Dort or Michael Porter Jr.
I like Strus.
Okay, let's do it. So this would be kind of like a GM version of the teams that were being created last night if the Q tags broke the wrong way. And now we get it at a discount today.
I mean, this is how you play the games. This is just a master class.
Yeah. Everyone's making fun of my jeans?
No, they're complimenting them.
Oh, okay. So I got a confession about these jeans here, Nez. So I've been wearing these local company Doer denim, and they're very soft, very comfortable jeans. And these are probably the 5th generation of me having these jeans, the exact same pair, exact same size, exact same everything, because they're kind of like elasticy and they rip in the crotch after wearing them for like too long. So I have my dog park jeans and then my good jeans and then my nice, like the nice ones. So they come in like 3 colors and I have them in all 3 colors. But
you have a promo code while you're at it?
Yeah, basically. My buddy does their website, so I get a nice discount. So it's all good. But then these ones right now are my dog park ones because they're 5th in the rotation now. They're on their last legs. And I fucking put like a jean patch in the crotch. So if I stand up and go full crotch for the people, they're not that sweet of jeans. But if I put on the other ones, then they're fucking sweet. So
I thought you have jean patches to like just lying around?
Dude, I just went to the store and got a jean patch and put it in. I don't know. I got endless hours of time here, dude. I'm just drafting on the app and stuff. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Let's not get banned.
Please no full crotch. Thank you. Yeah, it'll be like when Pete used to do the nip slip bit. It'll be when I go full frontal crotch on the stream here for everyone.
He's too big. He's too big to do nip slips now. Some are saying
he's jacked.
Well, he's been jacked, but they're saying he's too famous now. I mean, he's getting 800 views a stream. He can't be showing nips anymore unless someone really throws him a big super chat.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we got 275 of us hanging out right now. If you happen to be on the X side, jump on over to the YouTube side. The link is adjacent to somewhere there. Give us a like, subscribe, hit that notification, all that fun stuff. Bringing you Underdog daily, 2 p.m. Eastern time, every single weekday, and some bonus content mixed in there. 2 Membies shows most weeks, sometimes 3, sometimes 1. Mix and match. We'll get back to some no strip Nez stuff when things calm down in the summertime here, and we will each get you a bonus show as we go through. That was Hoops. That was the segment. The Extendoooooor is posted in the chat if you guys want to play along with us. Hopefully we keep this heat train rolling there. Nez talked through it at the beginning of the show, why it was, borderline intelligent for us to do this. And now we're going to push into the baseball slate, Nez, and very interesting. A lot of high run totals here on the baseball slate. Let's just talk, macro lay of the land for you. It is obviously a Coors Field slate. It is obviously a slate that has 2 of the minor league parks with good hitting conditions as well. Thoughts on the slate as a whole on this 12-gamer, Nez?
It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. There are just spots that I just feel are impossible to get away from. And spots that are just beyond easy to not get to. So it's tough because I know that I need to think imaginatively, but I cannot get myself to. I just can't. So maybe you can help me.
Okay, well, I will try my very best to get creative for you, but I need to first know what the spots you think you can't get away from are right now.
So Yankees athletics is a joke. It's like 90 degrees. Beto versus Will Warren on the
Yep.
mound.
Yep.
Two of the best offenses in baseball, some of the best offenses in baseball, going back and forth. I mean, it's gonna get slutty.
Yeah, I
This
tend to
game
agree
is
with you there.
lusty. There's just no other way to describe it other than being, sexual.
There is an interesting question about this game. Do you prefer it more than Coors today? We have two teams coming off of a rest day. We got two teams with that everything that you just alluded to. Do you prefer it more than Coors Field today?
I mean, am I going to get kicked off the program for saying yes?
Nope, because I think I agree with you. I'm not going to talk
Yeah,
you off this ledge. I mean, I love both spots, don't get me wrong. But when all the San Diego stuff is pushed up so high and you can get any iteration of these stacks later other than just Judge, yeah, man, I'm in the lockstep with you. I'm in lockstep with Easy, who says minor league parks 80s and 90s with wind blowing out, calling me like the Goblin Mask. I mean, that's probably perfectly phrased.
dude, it's just like I looked at the weather last night, as I tend to
Mhm.
do, and I saw
Yep.
90 degrees in like Sacramento, and I fell out of my chair. Like
Yeah.
this is going to be fun. It should be, but it should be unless
Yeah.
Beto throws an absolute gem.
Mhm. I mean,
So yeah,
the nice thing you could say about Will Warren is he does have the ability to get strikeouts against right-handed hitters, and there are strikeouts available in the A's lineup that are right-handed. That's the nicest possible thing I can say. I still love the spot. Like, you know?
yeah, I didn't even give myself a chance to get that optimistic. Um, so yeah,
Oh man. Okay, so I think the obvious spots that we're going to talk about right now, and you can look at the run totals on the screen right now. The most obvious spots are going to be the late night hammer that is Yankees and Athletics with that 10.5, and then Coors Field with this 11.5. Rockies and Padres. Padres priced up in a big way. May or may not get Jake Cronenworth back today, which would just factor into the middle of that lineup. Then there's a whole bunch of, 8.5s, 9s, 8s, 9s, that sort of thing. So let's talk about maybe some of the potential non slam the table stacks right now, because I think the most obvious ones are Yankees, Athletics, Padres, and then a little sprinkle of Rockies right now that I'm seeing in rooms. Anyone else that you would add to that I missed?
so you hit like athletics right in that just game environment,
Yep.
even though they're cheap. Yeah. I'm really drawn to the Twins game today.
Ooh.
Speaking of weather, it's like
Mhm.
mid 80s in Minnesota.
Okay.
So I am very much intrigued by this one. On the mound, it's Jordan Hicks up against Chris Paddock. I
Mhm.
don't have respect for Chris Paddock. Jordan Hicks is not bad, but we've
He's
got Buxton, who's like one of the best hitters in baseball right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jordan Hicks is elite at getting the ground ball, but that's the only thing he's elite at. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, if you're able to elevate and you have some right-handed hitters or left-handed hitters in particular, like probably be a pretty good spot for Matt Wallner if he was in the lineup, like that.
Yeah,
If
RIP.
that kind of thing, where it's like left-handed power that can elevate, because he is elite at getting ground balls. But and we saw this last year where he was really good at the start of the season and then he fell off as he tailed off toward the end of the year. Could see some similar pattern this year, but yeah, not the spot that I would have gone to next. So I'm pretty intrigued by this one, hearing this one from you.
Yeah, mostly the Giants
Mm.
side of things in this game. But yeah, I do think with the weather in Minnesota, it can play sneaky up whenever that's the case, and the 9-run total I think sort of implies that too.
Yeah, absolutely. The spots in which I would go to next there, Nez, would for me would have been Red Sox, Marlins, Rays, and Brewers. And we attacked Zach Littell in that ballpark multiple times at the start of the year there, and it worked very well. I believe it was the Phillies in one of the games, and I believe it was the Angels in another game. He has a fly ball problem to right-handed hitters, despite being right-handed. I really like Willem Contreras and Jackson Churio and Reese Hoskins today. That is a spot that was jumping off the page to me, was Brewers right-handed power, and it's free. It's free right now.
Yeah, another great park that we should be attacking for sure.
Yes, sir. Anyone else mixed in there that I missed or that you would like to poo poo on or anything like that, or should we talk about some pitching?
I mean, Dodgers D-backs just in general is a good spot too for both these teams. So, Dodgers are a chalk all the time.
Yep.
So, you can build some pretty nasty Dodgers stacks, but I think both those teams look good. You mentioned the Marlins against Bryce Wilson. I agree with that. That's going to be super low owned, I hope. So that's going to be a fun one to try to get to. And did you mention Orioles like when we first started the show?
I mentioned it when we first started the show that I'm going back to the well to the O's today. Like I'm going fuck Kyle Hendricks, professional ass right-handed, put him in the dirt. Let's get some of these left-handed sticks from the O's going nice again. But it's hard, man. They're 10 games under 500. They have looked putrid. They burned the shit out of me yesterday to the point of 25 entries that amounted to $0 in the daytime diamond. But I will definitely be playing O's today when they are so low down in ADP.
Yeah, you got to, man. You have to against Kyle Hendricks in Anaheim. Yeah, you just have to.
Hold on, I gotta whistle real quick. I hear him again.
Anaheim 2 should be really good temps for this game. Mid 80s against Kyle Hendricks, dude. Yeah. I'm definitely into that.
This guy's pushing his boundaries when he knows I'm not paying attention. Cheeky bastard.
Mr. Smart Boy.
Mr. Smart Boy, indeed. One nice thing about Dodgers when you were talking about that, comparative to yesterday, shout out to Brandon Fott, who did exactly what you said, man. Double bubble, where he's one of those banger bust guys, where it's like we can get a bunch of strikeouts and get a good score, that sort of deal. Nice thing about Dodgers today is you can put them all together and you don't have to chase them because people will let you have them when there's 12 games on the slate. So if I'm building Dodgers, a little bit contrarian Dodgers, but when Dodgers are really obtainable, that's when I start playing a little bit more Dodgers in my life. So yeah, I like that call just from a attainability standpoint. The other note I had was Rookie has pitched on 6 days rest for every single start this year. Today is 5 days rest. So don't know how that'll affect him. We talk about the dynamics of Japanese pitchers coming over. They're always 6 day rest guys. Now all of a sudden he's on 5 day rest. Will the pitch count be limited? Blah, blah, blah. I will play 0% Rookie today at the best of times, but especially today. I'm out.
Yeah, I don't plan on getting to him at all. And because today is just like rife with great spots, I'm pretty much taking Gosman or Luis Castillo in the second round, like every time, automatic.
Okay.
But
okay,
yeah,
nice. Okay, I like that. So you are prioritizing second round, second tier pitching, and then contrarian bats, basically.
yeah. I mean, there's just like 1,000,001 good spots to get to today. I think that makes sense. I, as confident as I can be about those two, given the fact that there's no like obvious, aces in my opinion on the slate other than, Hunter Brown. I think Hunter Brown, great pitcher, good spot against the Reds.
Mm-hmm.
But just like the floor, I do worry about like, him maybe, potentially getting lit up, just, like a quick little rally.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I mean, you see the run total in Seattle, Gosman, getting the good right on right matchup against Julio and Randy.
Yep.
I like that spot for pitching a ton.
Cool. Yeah, no, I respect it. He will also have the semi-home crowd. Evergreen reminder that all the Canadian Blue Jays fans from the Pacific Northwest travel down for that ball game and take over that ballpark. It's quite embarrassing as a Mariners fan. I'm not gonna lie, but that
I
place
gotta
will
move
be
my
50.
car real quick. Sorry.
This guy every fucking show. Nez always has like some obscure thing that takes place.
Dude, I know. I messed up with my park job today. Whenever we were running errands. I told you about that graduation party that we're prepping for. Yeah. So
you got your grilling shirt on for the graduation party. It's perfect.
I'm just putting on for the good people since they showed us some love today.
Love it. Yeah, I guess left-handed Diamondbacks have like a decent implied run total. I'm in lockstep with Nez where I will play no Blue Jays, no Mariners tonight. Like maybe you could go the way of a one-off, but I don't think it's necessary on a slate like this. I think some stacks that we haven't talked about yet that I think are like somewhat sneaky that, potentially get us home. Like Nez alluded to the Giants being kind of like one of that variety. I mentioned the Marlins earlier as like someone that nobody's drafting. I'll go back to the well with Angels again. Sagano's been good in terms of like not giving up a ton and not walking dudes. But if nobody's going to play him, I'll mix in like a little Taylor Ward, Jorge Soler mini, something like that. D-backs in the same notion, although Corbin Carroll goes every time or almost every time. So you should mix in like some contrarian bats to go with them, primarily of the left-handed variety. But I think Brewers for a scroll, Baltimore for a scroll, some of that right-handed Rays stuff. They did exactly what I alluded to yesterday, where Brandon Lowe went to the bench and then Jonathan Aranda went to the middle of the lineup there. I don't think you can play Aranda. He is one of the worst hitters in all of baseball against left-handed pitching. So if Aranda's back in there today, I'd leave him out of my stacks. Junior Caminero homered yesterday, which was just good to see off a lefty there. He also had a clutch base hit to drive in a run. One of my other notes was Clay Holmes has yet to give up a home run. So there's that. I don't know if people want to get to Cubs, by all means. Like the Cubs have been basically the best offense in baseball this year. But if people are going to be overdrafting Cubs, I will probably stay clear of it today. I'm a believer in Clay Holmes and what that changeup can do against left-handed. Here we go. Aranda's not in, but Brandon Lowe is hitting. Brandon Lau. Brandon Lau is hitting fourth here, so they just 1-for-1 replaced him, and then I imagine Curtis Mead came back into the lineup today. That's how I would just read the situation, which means Danny Jansen's probably still in there, and we'll get that same top three of Yandy, Morel, and Caminero. I mean, Jose Quintana has been really good this year, and he's been really good at suppressing, hard contact and fly balls. He used to have a huge fly ball problem. Man, you get the ball up in the air against him today, and that shit's going to go. So Ray's definitely going to be a part of my portfolio. Let's move on.
I'm a Quintana respecter.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely had stretches. He's been really good this year. He was really good at portions last year. But if you go back, 2 years ago or whatever, he had huge fly ball problems. So it's kind of flipped in recent memory. So yes and no. Talk out of both sides of your mouth with that one in my respect there. I probably won't play Quintana today because there's not enough strikeout upside in my opinion. But
no, I agree.
Yeah. Let's talk about the pitching here, Nez. You alluded to really liking pitchers in that Seattle game environment. You said Hunter Brown was the best play on the slate to start, but he was priced up. So where are you at with pitching?
Yeah, I'm Gosman and Luis Castillo, SP 2 and 3.
Okay. In that order?
Yeah.
Yep.
Nola, nice starts back to back, but I do worry about lefties against him. The Cleveland lefties against him.
And there's a
So
lot
I,
of
I
them.
think, I mean, like top to bottom.
Yeah.
So like, I think I prefer Max Meyer to Nola.
We have a Guardians lineup. Do we have a Guardians lineup? Let me see here. Guardians lineup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lefties by my count. Martinez is a lefty, right? Martinez is a switch hitter. Martinez is a switch hitter. So there we go. That's I count 8 lefties in this lineup. That is fucking tough sledding for Aaron Nola, a guy who was bad to start the year, whose velocity was down in a big way, and then had a couple nice starts, and now gets a slew full of lefties. Yeah, I like that shout there, Nez. I'm a little scared now too.
Yeah, I mean, it's not great, Bob. Yeah, and then after that, I think I'd probably put Clay Holmes, even though I don't love the going up against the Cubs. But don't forget Max Meyer, my boy.
Yeah, you like Max Meyer more than Clay Holmes?
Yeah.
Okay. I agree. I like that matchup. Max Meyer's shown some big K upside too. So when you're chasing, guys with pedigree or whatever, obviously athletics, didn't get a bunch of strikeouts there. But yeah, in recent memories here, he's had some ups and downs, but he had that 14 strikeout game and 8 strikeout game. Max Meyer was a guy that people were really excited about at the tail end. We got Mr. Good Boy with his bandana on. What's up, big?
Yeah, a little haircut, little proper boy.
Get you Mr. Good Boys in the chat. As I alluded to, Nez, I'm off of Sasaki today.
Yeah.
Will you take Nola as your 6th pitcher, or are you just kind of off it in general?
Oh yeah, yeah. SP6 for sure. But
okay.
Yeah.
Sogano's been good at limiting contact and walks, but not a ton of strikeouts here. He had the one outing with 8 there against the Yankees, which was kind of an anomaly. Yeah, but he's been good, man. Just in terms of he's low key been probably Baltimore's best pitcher. So yeah, I don't mind if people want to go there because of how watered down the A's look right now, but I think I'd rather play A's bats today.
100%.
Okay. Anybody else that you'd be entertaining? Pour one out. RIP for Gavin Williams, Dark Horse Cy Young podcasters all over the planet to start the season. Everyone's fucking hive mindset of this guy's Dark Horse Cy Young. All those adjustments and all that good stuff we saw in spring have not carried over. I'm probably not going to chase it against the Phillies.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. I think there's a couple spots that are sneaky, just in general, but probably not for our platform. I wish pitching meant a little more sometimes so that we could get to some of these spots, but there's just kind of no huge benefit to it because as long as you don't get shelled at pitcher today, given the run totals, given that it's 11 games, offense is going to win this slate. There's most likely not going to be a had to have it pitcher on this slate. Do you agree with that?
No, I agree 100%. I'm not super worried about pitching.
Yeah.
Which is kind of ironic because I'm putting a lot of emphasis on Kevin Gausman, but yeah.
Yeah. Like this one, for instance, easy saying cheeky Will Warren double bubble. I kind of don't hate it from a strikeout standpoint as a bang blessed play, but I think it's way more of a redacted play than it is for us here.
Yep. Yeah, fully agree with that.
Yeah, Eduardo Rodriguez in the same vein, where it'd be double bubble, plus he could get some strikeouts, plus there's a lot of lefties in that Dodgers lineup. He had 10 Ks last time out against the Phillies. I would chase, Will Warren or Erod on the other site, not on ours. I would pay down for a Nick Martinez or something like that going against a fully right-handed lineup that has not been good this year, but I just don't think it's necessary here.
Agreed.
Okay, beautiful stuff on pitching there, Nez. Looks like we're going to be living in the Safeco field, aka T-Mobile field range. I'm going to give this a refresh to see if we get any more lineup positions in there. We did kind of our stacks and we did talk about that. Are there any isolated bats that you want to highlight as kind of like some pick to clicks or that sort of thing?
Dude, I keep like zeroing in on the like one-offs from that Twins Giants game.
Okay, interesting. All right.
Like, I really want that game to go out just because I don't think anybody's really looking that way. They are looking at Buxton. He has a high ADP, but like Chapman or Adames one-offs, I really like. And then you mentioned the Marlins, and I do really agree against Bryce Wilson, who is just like not good. So like Kyle Stowers,
Yep,
feels really fun.
yeah. Jesus Sanchez can hit the ball a long way. Matt Mervis had some big time pop earlier in the season there. Dane Myers will probably be in there and he's free right now. Edwards leading off with some speed. He'll never hit you a home run, but never say never, I guess. But he'll hit you one home run a year. But he's got some speed and he could score some runs and be an accumulator if you want to do like a 3-man stack, something like that. Don't hate that. As I alluded to earlier, Nez, one of my favorite stacks right now is this Brewers one that's free down here, just doing like 32, 33, and 35 ADPs of Jackson Churio, Willem Contreras, and Reese Hoskins. Just that right-handed power problem in that ballpark is one that stands out to me. The Baltimore stuff, and then all of the stuff that we alluded to earlier with Yankees, Padres, Athletics being good chalk for good reason.
Yeah, well said. I mean, it is just a super fun slate, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I fully agree with you there. One that we didn't really talk about, like I'm a Michael Lorenzen respecter, but it does look like a decent spot for Boston. They're kind of pushed down a little bit comparative to some of those other teams that we mentioned. Is Boston a priority for you at all?
They're an interesting one because yes, they are. It's just like, yeah, like you said, dude. Lorenzen just tricks you.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it's a spot you want to get to, and then yeah, and then like Coffin Stadium too is like interesting. I mean, I do like it for Jarren Duran. I will say that.
Yeah,
like
big outfield to work with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like struggling with that one because it feels like a trap. But
yeah.
Who the hell's getting there?
Yeah. Nez, before we jump in a draft, while we're top of mind here, I kind of want to pick a couple home run pick'ems here. Just type in the old home run and see if we got any nice price tags on anybody here.
Did you see the Aaron Judge multiplier?
No, I did not. What is it, like 0.94?
I mean, close.
Basically.
You're close.
It's 1.3 for Aaron Judge. Holy smokes. Yeah, I mean, draft him in the dailies, but I wouldn't be touching that one.
Yeah. What do you win when you win?
Yeah, what do you win when you win? Indeed. Seager's not on our slate. Wow, he's getting a 4.54. I guess it must be Scooball tonight, if that is the case. Let's take a little perusing here. Jackson Merrill, 2.56 at Coors in a good spot. Not terrible. Wow, Cal Raleigh leading the world in home runs right now and only getting a 1.78 at home versus Gosman. Ooh,
whoa.
Wow. Yeah.
What about these Athletics?
Let's take a look. Rooker with the 2.29, Soderstrom with a 2.8. Wow, Jackson Churio only a 2.33, so they like that spot.
I'm surprised the A's are not lower in multiplier like that. That has me pretty intrigued.
Yeah, A's feel good. Still perusing here. A's feel good. I was trying to get to Tampa Bay. Wow, Ben Rice only a 216. Definitely be mixing him in your stacks today.
Yo, yeah.
Yeah. Morel only a 2.7, same as Trent Grisham. And I've seen Grisham go a lot and Morel go 0.
Good call.
There's your Willie Adames, 208. Good shout, Nez.
Thank you. That was better than I expected.
Yeah, that's a good good pat on the back for things you were looking at. Junior Caminaro, a 319 with the winds blowing out. There's my pick. What do you want to add to it?
Hold
on. You know what, Nez? I just gotta cheeky get this one in quick, and then I'll let you add another one.
Private chat.
I added William Contreras to that one. 25 gets us 7 something. Easy? Double down on your comment, please. I looked away for a second here. Can you tell me which one you were referring to? That's free? Hopefully it was the Junior Caminaro one. Austin going a little BVP for us. In Seager's 6 for 9 off Scooball. What you just entered. So Easy likes what we just entered. Good, cool. That's a fun one there, guys. Play along at home. Nez, do you want to reuse any of these players here?
Throw them back in there. Just hit the reuse button. Do like Caminero a lot.
Okay, so let's keep Caminero, and then you make a pick for me.
Pull up the Athletics, or just Control F ATH.
Okay, let me click away. ATH. Volpe. Luis Urias.
Dude,
I think I gotta scroll up, eh? Here, hold on.
Yeah, I can help you with this.
There's the Rooker.
Yeah, do ATH space V. Then we can get now we can just cycle through. Just nice. look at my guy Jacob Wilson.
Jacob Wilson, 7.22.
What's Bangaliers?
Okay, can we talk about this for 1 second?
Sure.
It's awesome that you were right about Jacob Wilson and that you were still so fucking wrong. Like, it's awesome.
What was I wrong about?
Because the same player that you could draft in the last round over and over again that was right beside him with the exact same thesis was Shea Langoliers or Soderstrom. And both of them will outscore Jacob Wilson.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter in the slightest. Doesn't matter because
it's true.
Because you guys made me prove a point. So
I love that you did it too. I love that you proved it.
I had no choice but to do that. What is Bangaliers tonight?
Bangaliers at 274. That's fun, dude.
I like that.
Let's cook this bad boy up there. That gets us basically the same multiplier as the previous one. We could do the 2 catchers together with William Contreras and Shea Langoliers. I do think it is actually notable that William Contreras does have a probable tag tonight. I anticipate him being in there, but I just thought it was to be noted that he does. It's not a guarantee that he's going to play baseball this evening, but I am treating it as such.
I was not aware of that. It shows you I haven't scrolled very much.
Nez, anyone else that we would like to put out? What about the chat? The chat was telling us who's the chat on. Chat is kind of quiet for a Friday, man. 250 people in here, 265 hanging out. Chat's a little quiet right now. I think people are scared to be wrong about the homers, man. They just know that we're on a heater and they just want to trust it. I like the chat mixing it up in here.
They're just sitting back and observing, you know. They're learning. Not everything needs a reaction. They're just
that's true.
They're just sitting back and observing. I respect it, but yeah,
dude, Brenton Doyle getting 327 at Coors. Woo.
People forget it's just not the place to hit homers.
It's true. You know what's crazy? Ballpark Pal put out a chart year over year, dating back to 2018, of ball flying metrics, and Coors is like they've nerfed the balls in Coors, and it was crazy to see the ball travel data in the front half of pre-COVID window compared to the back half.
Really?
Yeah,
Did they just crank up the humidifier for the balls or what?
dude, 100%, like 1000%. They got park sensitive to each individual park and then cranked it up.
So it's just like, what are we doing then? Why are we still
Right.
chasing this shit?
It's weird, right? Easy's asking for athletics in the chat. Austin saying Jackson Holiday goes yard today. Did we already make the Pope call? Gavin Sheets, duh. That's a layup, you know? Bangs plus belly is nice. Okay, we can do bangs plus belly for Keith. Okay, hold on. Okay, let's do Angels first, but bangs plus belly is next. Don't let me forget. Okay. So we got Ward at 239. We got here. Come on, search. Nolan Shamwell gonna be hitting second at that 473.
What about Neto?
Soler 228. Luis Rengifo 5. Whoa. Jan Mancada homer twice in the last 3 days, 3.7. Neto at 234. Yeah, a little light. Hoppy at 257. Kyron RIP Paris at one thing that was popping on the unabated stuff with the Bad X projections this morning, Nez, was Kyron Paris total bases higher than 0.5. So I will share that with the people there. How about a little Adele? 318 homered the other night. He's homered 2 of the last 3. Yeah, I don't know. We'll leave that one in. Yeah, Cardi likes Kyron tonight for whatever it's worth.
Really?
Yeah, I noticed that in the pick'em tool this morning. So I don't know what it is about that matchup. But yeah, Mr. Kid Boy has returned from his adventure. Good to see. I still own a dog. Mookie Betts 3x. That's a good shout from Tyler in the chat. Okay, let's do Mookie with the 3x. And then Gavin Sheets. He's not. Oh my dude, Gavin Sheets 442.
This is calling your name.
Dude, that is the most John put together thing of all time. Dude, Gavin Sheets 442 in Coors. Left-handed power plays a little bit better in Coors. Looks like wind tunnel's moving that way today too. Okay, and now we do the belly bomb 299, and we doubled down on the one that you liked with Shea, and we both liked with Shea. Let's see if I got a little spice. Oh, baby, we can add a little 60 spice to that. Baby. Max 100. We're paying for BBM. Let's roll. In Keith and Nez, I trust. Let's go. You guys see me putting my hard-earned money on this right here. Putting these all in the private chat for Nez.
Thank you, sir.
Last one will go to Easy in the chat if he can cook something that he likes with Angels. If you can cook something you like involving an Angel, obviously we can't play 2 Angels because it's not viable on our site. Please let us know in the chat. Other than that, I am going to jump in here, Nez. We're going to draft a baseball team, and then we are going to call it a day.
I gotta mow a lawn today.
My God, look at you, domesticated fatherhood here. A barbecue. You got your button-up shirt. You're hosting a barbecue. You're mowing the lawn. You're moving parked cars. Oh my God.
Yeah, dude, busy life over here. Let me tell you.
It's a trap. It's a trap. Easy. It's a trap. I will add a Kurtz one here.
Dude, Kurtz is 5x.
Kurtz to hit. This would be his first career home run.
It's coming.
Kurtz and Ben Rice. What's Ben Rice's price?
2 something?
Nah, not good enough for us. Kurtz is a fun one. What can we add to Kurtz? That's a fun one.
Let's add
Sheets, Kurtz, Seegers. Oh my.
I got one for you.
O'Hearn. That's a good one from Josh.
Okay.
What's O'Hearn at? You love O'Hearn. He hits the ball hard.
I do love O'Hearn.
Let's do that. That's fun. Man, there's nothing like cooking up home runs with your friends on a Friday.
It'll just bankroll just melting, but also growing exponentially at the same time.
Oh, buddy, I'm paying for BBM tonight. I just got a buzz on my phone, which means we are on the clock, Nez. We got 22 seconds to make a decision here. Jackson Merrill at the top. Let's do something contrarian. Let's take Hunter Brown, and then let's go with some contrarian stackage. What do you think?
All right.
Well, what would you prefer? You weren't enthusiastic.
Merrill.
You want Merrill? All right.
It's so hard to like not take Merrill there.
I got you. Do you have a favorite secondary Slam Diego stack partner that is not Machado, Merrill, or Tatis?
I mean, I don't mind Xander in this ballpark.
Yeah.
Yeah, not at all.
Damn. Inthrius takes Gunnar Henderson. There goes one of our stacks. Should we do your pitcher thesis? You like to get ahead on the pitching? Do you prefer?
I do. It's I think it's slappy behavior, but I do really like doing that.
And you prefer it over Rooker, so you'd rather go Gosman here?
Yeah, let's go Gosman, and then we'll go real contrarian.
Okay. I'm gonna put a name in the private chat of what I would do on my own. We could share this right after. I would do this. Great radio for everyone.
And me, I don't even have the name.
That's what I would do with this one.
All right.
I think. But if you're into something else, I know you really like Giants. We could do Giants.
I do really like Giants, but let's do your thing.
Okay. The most recent one I put in the chat. Did you click on it in the private chat? That was the Kurtz one, right?
The PSTH. Last 4. Let me see. I think was this Bangaliers and Belly? No, that was Kurtz and O'Hearn.
Kurtz and O'Hearn. All right, that seems good to me.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep with this Slam Diego narrative here, Nez. We've been talking about him. We got that pick 'em. Let's put Gavin Sheets hitting in the 4-hole in this ballpark with that handedness advantage. We stack the 2 lefties in the middle of the order. It might not work out if Crone Zone draws into the lineup because he might hit above that.
Yeah. Him being Q-tag is interesting because he's falling a lot.
Yeah.
But if he was active, I mean, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Evan's asking if SGA Joker with Chet is a GM. No, that one's been readily obtainable since the jump kind of thing. Nez, Brent Rooker's here. We could do athletics with this. We could do Giants. We could do Milwaukee. We could do one-offs. What do you like?
Let's do your Brewers thing.
All right. So, whoa, am I stupid? The Jackson to Jackson combo.
Yeah. No one's doing that. No one's thinking. No one's thinking on this level.
Everyone is playing checkers out here. I'm playing 3D chess with the Jackson stack.
This is why you're the best, man.
It's a great point. It is a great point. We see Vogie Berra, who's had a nice year so far, doing similar to you with the Luis Castillo. Hey, RIP to the spreadsheets with Luis Castillo overlapping twice because,
Yeah.
the Luis fraud Castillo has moved on to Baltimore.
That'll do it.
Ah.
7 ERA pitcher for cash considerations. That'll do it.
That'll do it.
Like I have empathy for Baltimore. I don't know that I don't have enough energy to have sympathy whenever my team is the Pirates, but like, man, Elias just really fucked them hard. GM there.
Yeah, let's think about this. I have sympathy because they were homegrown. Oh, before we talk about Orioles, Tyler O'Neill might be back today. That was one of my nuggets. Yeah, that was one of my little nuggets there.
That would intrigue me.
We see Indrius building out that Baltimore and Angels stuff that we were talking about. Are we going to land this plane with the Crone Zone or with Rhys Hoskins, Nez?
Hoskins.
Rhys Hoskins it is. Taking Zach Littell deep. Let's have this conversation, though, for a second. Rhys Hoskins did introduce the torpedo bat in most recent memory, and it's led to a bit of a heater after he had an amazing spring. Then he fell flat on his face, and then now he's had a little bit of a heater. Torpedo bat is in the hands of Rhys Hoskins, so maybe causation, maybe correlation, maybe nothing. But just sharing that little tidbit of knowledge. We did a 3-2, a scrolly F down 3-2 with 3 players north of 33.4 ADPs. Kevin Gausman on the mound for us, a 3-stack of the Milwaukee Brewers here with some right-handed power, William Contreras, Rhys Hoskins, Jackson Churio, and then Jackson Morrell and Gavin Sheets, left-handed power in Coors Field in the middle of that lineup. Yeah, kind of fun there. Okay, Nez, tell me about Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, just like the hubris of Mike Elias not doing enough. They have new ownership. They have new ownership in Baltimore, and like he like didn't. I mean, we don't know this for certain, but just like the unwillingness to spend when he clearly has more of a budget than like what other teams do have. And to not try to capitalize on the young talent like he did, and just, they did the Corbin Burns move. Like,
yeah,
it was a good move, and it was a shame that things didn't work out for them after that. But like, man,
their formula's been the exact same back-to-back years, where they've had this young core. They've overperformed in quotations relative to their timeline, and then they haven't gone and addressed it via free agency. They've just done a big pitcher deadline to get an ace at the trade deadline for the future. They did it with Jack Flaherty, then they didn't re-sign him. They did it with Corbin Burns, then they didn't re-sign him. Maybe they do it with Luis Castillo this year if they're in contention and the Mariners are not, something like that.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, man. They just really had a really good team, and I think he's squandering it big time. I just don't know how you don't fire a guy like that. Like, that is a hell of a bag to have fumbled. I mean,
yeah,
for real.
Yeah, I like it, dude. Good shout. Good shout there. All right, let's go with easy saying home run odds versus ADP. There might be the most off of all time for Rhys. Yes, I agree with you, man. It feels like a really nice spot for Rhys Hoskins. O's or the dollar store OKC Thunder. That's a good call. I like that.
Yeah.
Mitch is asking about Cronenworth. Yeah, may or may not be back today. I haven't seen a lineup yet. He's got the Q tag there, as you see, but obviously left-handed power in Coors would play, well, maybe not power, but like left-handed stick in Coors in a good lineup, hitting the middle order would pay off in a big way if he is in there today, and you will get a swap if he is not. And you could just swap to whatever other Padre jumps in there. Anything else to share here? Thoughts on baseball, Nez?
No, it's a fun one, man. I wish I, had some more time to really fire off at these like low owned stacks because, I think today is awesome. The chalk is super fun, but also it's fun to get different as well at the same time. So
could not agree more with you, my friend. It is a very fun slate. Last thing to share with the people, going full circle back to the beginning of the show, took down the extender one last night. So we are going to run it back this evening. Our guy Keith is telling us to slide SGA assists and print this evening. So the resident slide expert chiming in with that one. That's a good additive to some of our pick'em plays. This is the core, though. This is the core for the extender this evening. Not for the faint of heart. Almost 11x here. Russell Westbrook higher on points. Alex Caruso higher PRA. Joker higher on the 9-5 assists there and getting a little boost. Davis added a little core of his own to that sort of thing with the same assists there, but then going with some 3-pointers for Naismith and Dort. Higher on the points for SGA and higher on the points for Donovan Mitchell, which that number is lower than that now. So you guys would get some good CLV on that. It's 28.5, I believe, on the site now, opposed to when Davis took it. So go in there, get after that. If you guys don't mind, give us a like, subscribe, push that notification. We're coming out 2 p.m. Eastern every single day for the good people. Yeah, there's my Twitter page that I was not intending to do. There we go. There we go. Yes, best of luck drafting in the hoops tonight. 15K up top instead of 10. Extra 6,000 entries available. So start jamming that one. I will be in there. I will be doing some baseball drafts as well here. Very fun slate, as Nez and I alluded to. Nez, any parting words for the people for the weekend ahead?
No, you guys have a great weekend. I will see you in the lobbies, and I don't think I will be able to get to it, but if I can squeeze it in, since we didn't really do a ton of members stuff tonight, I will try to do something tonight. But TBD.
All right, so you got to get those notifications on. You got to get in the Discord. You got to be following the Badge Bros on the X universe there, because Nez is going to tweet out and or link in there if we can do a little bit tonight. Get your Mr. Good Boys in the chat, the cutest boy in all of the land, flopping over there to say what up. Best of luck to Nez with barbecuing some shit up for the fam. Remember, Nez, well cooked, overcooked, well cooked burgers, my man.
Thank you.
Nobody wants those raw ones.
Well done burgers, yes. lest we forget. Thank you, guys.
Nez needs a Modelo. So does John. Actually, John's making his return to the ice tonight after maybe my longest break ever.
Oh,
maybe about a month and a half here. So we'll see.
Maybe like Klay Thompson.
Maybe I'll be awful. Who knows? All right. Best of luck this weekend. Much love to everyone hanging out. Hit the like, subscribe. I know it's tedious, but it's right there. Please and thank you. You're looking like you're confused, or you just discovered something, Nez?
Nope. Sorry.
Okay. Cool. Everybody's favorite time of the show. The end. Peace. Good luck tonight. This guy, he knows exactly what time it is. He looks right at the camera.
He said, let's go.
He's like, oh, it's parked up. Oh, is it parked up?